Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's your dude, this Storytime. Alright, check it out. On the podcast the other day, on Sunday, I told you I was going to talk about this subject. Before I get into it, please press the like, comment, share. Let's get all these videos to 1,000 views. Please, please, please. Alright, next up. Podcast will be on tomorrow. So all y'all seeing this video, stay tuned to tomorrow. The podcast is live 7:30 all the way usual time. This and Ace and this. We're gonna have a good one for you. So today's story is called When Helping is Hurting. Yeah, I like that. When helping is hurting. Alright, so I mentioned that I met a woman that was an avid crack user. Now, when I met her, she was pretty. She was taken care of. She was clean. She just was walking. I just asked her if she needed a ride, and she was like, "Yeah, I need to go pay my cell phone bill." Okay. What does that got to do with me? And she was like, "Well, if you give me some money to pay my cell phone bill, you'll be my date." These are her words. These are the words she used. I said, she said, "But can we pay the cell phone first?" I didn't think it was no problem. You know, I'm not glorifying the things I do. Like I said, I try to keep it 100 with y'all all the time. So she said for $35 I could be her date. Pay her cell phone. $35 was the amount. I'd be her date. Paid it, went home, we kicked it. It was cool. It was cool. I don't remember why or how. Like, she was a real charmer. She had great charisma. She was very quick. She's very quick on her toes. You know what I'm saying? She could talk you right out of whatever. She had good salesman pitches. So we ended up hooking up another day or later that day, and it just, like, the more I hung around her, I wasn't trying to sleep with her all the time. Like, I just wanted to get to know her, and as I got to know her, I felt sorry for her. I felt like she was in need. Yeah. So because I felt sorry and I felt like she was in need, I tried to help her. I tried to help her, and basically I hung out with her, you know. So I figured the more time she spent with me, the less time she'll be smoking crack. And that wasn't the case. Like, at first it was. The first week or so, she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't smoking that as often. Like, you know, when I leave and go home or drop her off, I don't know what she does, but for the time she wasn't. Then one day came and she was like, "Take me to the truck stop." I said, "Why?" And she gave me the long speech, and I was like, "Look, you don't need to do that. Like, that's dangerous. You don't need to do it." So I was like, she's like, "Well, if you feel like it's so dangerous, stay with me. Stay and don't go nowhere." So, all right, fine. So I stayed. So she doing whatever she doing with the truck drivers, get a little money. So I'm making sure nothing happened to her. Again, I was helping her. The more we hung around each other, the more I learned about her. I learned about her past. I learned about what she'd been through. I could never understand why she was my age and had this addiction that she couldn't kick. She told me about her kids. She had 3 of them, I think. She had a daughter that was 21 at the time. So this had to be about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 3 or 4, but it was about 4, I'm thinking. About 4 years ago. And she had a daughter, and her daughter said or did something to her, and she cracked her in the head with a chair. So, I felt bad. And then, she told me she had gotten in a bad car accident, and her ex-husband tried to kill her because she said she didn't want to be with him no more. And so he ran, and somebody said he was touching one of her kids. One that wasn't his, obviously. And so she was going to do something to him about that. But they got in the car and they were talking, and he didn't want to let her go. And he ran into a pole or a tree going 90. So they both almost died. And in this near-death experience, she told me she saw God. So she had like this whole spiritual revelation. And I was like, that's deep. I was, that's cool. And I was like, you know. And she would express to me how she wanted to see her kids, how she wanted to get them back, how she was going to get off of that. And so I took her to see her kids a couple times. Her family, you could tell they really weren't trying to help her. I guess she done burnt bridges, and at the time I didn't know how bad she burned bridges. So every time I thought I was helping her, I was hurting her. Every time I felt like I was at a truck stop to make sure nothing happened to her, I was enabling her. If I had some money and I gave it to her because she said, hey, I need it. I only did that once. Gave her money. All the rest of the times, it was just the fact that she just couldn't say no. She couldn't say yes to her kids and no to that. She just couldn't. So stuff got bad. She asked me one time, why every time I get angry at you, you're never around? I said, because I have good sense. She used to tell me when she get mad at people, she like to pull out knives. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I've been stabbed before. So when you get stabbed, anytime a person talks about a knife, it's a bad sign. So, like I said, she would talk about how she want to stab somebody up. Or she'd say, you know what, Kendarius, you're such a asshole, or you're such a dick. And she verbally assault me, and I would just hang up. I bumped into her after I stopped talking to her, after I cut her off, because right before I last cut her off, I had called the helpline to get her rehab help, and she went in for a day or two, and she got back out, and I didn't hear from her. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna cut my ties and keep clear. So I bumped into her lawyer. I bumped into her lawyer about 4 or 5 months ago, and I asked her lawyer to just let me know if she was okay, because that's all I ever really cared about, was to know that she was all right. Her lawyer got a message to her. She hit me on Facebook, and she asked me to do something for her. At the time, I said I was about to get married. I wasn't. I was with somebody, but I wasn't about to get married. And the person I'm with, they were like, you know, you grown, you do what you need to do. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm just going to stay away from that person, because that person is very toxic. Like, not conducive to anything that I got going on in my life. So, she cussed me out because she didn't like what I said. I told her no, and she didn't like no. I told her no, she didn't like no. And then one day going home, probably about a month or two ago, I saw her walking up the street, walking down my street from somebody's house. I don't know whose house she's at, but I got roped into a silly scheme to help her and her mama get home. And they had me running around Birmingham for about 30, 40 minutes. And then I took them to some dude's house, and they left. My point being, sometimes when you feel like you're helping people, no matter who it is and what they're doing, you're hurting them. If people don't want to be helped themselves, no matter what you do in hopes to help them, it'll never work. With that being said, that's the podcast. I guess I'll holler at you guys later, and stay tuned for the podcast tomorrow. I'm not sure what the topic is yet, but I'm gonna try and come up with a good one. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Peace and blessings. Peace.